वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्याचार्याय नचिकेतसे च। We have completed the first chapter. Each chapter of the Kathopanishad has 3 vallis, 3 sections. So the first chapter with the 3 sections have been completed. Now we are entering into the second chapter. With the first chapter itself, what the Upanishad wants to teach has been taught. The Upanishad has taught, Yamadharmaraja, he has taught what is to be taught. He gave the knowledge of Atma. He gave the knowledge, that knowledge which Nachiketa asked, gaining which a person becomes free from samsara. That Atma Vidya, Atma Jnanam has been given in the first chapter itself. But still the Upanishad continues, did not stop. So for that Bhashyakara says, Bhashyakara, he gives a connection between the first chapter and the second chapter, which is going to be started. So he gives a very nice connection, Sangati. So the second chapter begins with the Sangati Bhashyam. before reading the Sangati Bhashyam, let me tell what the Bhashyakara wants to say by means of Sangati. If moksha is what is required, if moksha, the freedom, is what we aspire, then what prevents moksha? What keeps us in bandha? That has to be known. The nature of moksha and the nature of bandha. Unless you know the nature of bandha, then you cannot remove the cause which keeps you in bandha, which keeps you in samsara to gain moksha. The nature of moksha already been discussed. The moksha is the knowledge of oneself which frees from all the notions. The notions what we have from our childhood about oneself, about myself. The notions what I have. Those wrong notions which prevent me from being with myself, which prevent me from recognizing the reality, the nature of myself. That is bandha. And moksha is not something which is gained externally, which is gained something new. If it is gained something new, by a kriya, then it is going to be a anitya, because it is gained. Praptitvat anityaha. Because of the fact that it is gained, therefore it will be anityam. Therefore moksha cannot be anityam. If moksha is anityam, Atma also will be anityam. So Atma also cannot be nitya. If Atma also is anitya, then bandha is also anitya. Then anitya becomes a reality. But that is not our perception or the understanding, because of the very fact that we attempt to be free. The very fact of attempt that shows moksha must be a siddha vastu. Moksha must be a siddha vastu. Atma is not something new to be gained. It is siddham. And Atma is self-evident. The only self-evident is Atma, but that is not recognized to be oneself because of the wrong ideas, the wrong notions. Because of the abhimana with this sharira, mana, indriya, sangata, because of the abhimana with that, so the Atma is not recognized. The real swarupa of myself is not recognized. And therefore, accordingly, our vyavahara in the world puts us in samsara. The vyavahara is not samsara. Loka vyavahara is not samsara. The world is not samsara. Our interaction, our perception of the world is samsara. Samsara is not external. Samsara is also internal. As ajnanam is internal, so too samsara also. Samsara is jiva srishtam. It is created by the jiva. It is created by jiva. By himself, he creates the samsara. He himself has spinned a web around him, and therefore he is caught in that. So that has to be broken. That is possible only by jnanam. So if moksha is what is sought after, then the means of moksha can be only jnanam. As the cause of bandha is ajnanam, therefore the means of moksha is jnanam. And for jnanam to be gained, the person should be yes sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha. The person should be endowed with the buddhi, which is thinking buddhi, a buddhi which can understand the subject matter, which is Atma, which is himself. Through the buddhi has to be extremely prepared, extremely well prepared, extremely sharp enough to understand, to recognize the Atma, which is revealed only by Shastram. Therefore, all the way the Shastram, the Upanishad has been telling that Atma Jnanam is moksha, and for moksha, what one needs is the buddhi. The buddhi is a Samskrita buddhi, because if Samskrita buddhi, only when Samskrita buddhi is there, then Shastra Vichara is possible. Only by Shastra Vichara, Jnanam is possible. If this Samskrita buddhi is not there, the Swabhava of the buddhi is always it is external, it goes outside. The Indriyas, the Pancha Indriya which the Bhagavan has given, the Pancha Indriya backed up by the buddhi, always it is extroverted. They are extroverted. They are committed to gain the object, the knowledge of the sense objects. They are committed to gain the knowledge of the sense objects. And buddhi also goes along with the sense organs in gaining the knowledge of the sense objects. So it will be a external pursuit, continuous external pursuit. The buddhi will never turn back to itself unless it is trained enough to do that. That is why we say we need to have the Samskrita buddhi, the Sukshma buddhi. Sukshma buddhi means not in terms of size. Sukshma means the mind has the ability, the capacity to scrutinize, to probe the subject matter. And the subject matter is not like any other subject matter which can be understood through the application of sense organs. It is not. So therefore, Sukshma buddhi, the importance of Sukshma buddhi is emphasized by the Upanishad. A Samskrita person will have Sukshma buddhi, Samskrita buddhi. A Prakrita Purusha will have is buddhi, which is extrovert. So the difference between a person seeking sense objects and the person seeking the Atma is this, the difference between the introvert and extrovert. A buddhi which is well trained can prevent can be prevented from going outward, can be prevented from being extrovert, and can be focused on the subject matter, which is oneself. For that, the support of sense organs not required. Sense organs are meant only for sense objects, which is anatma. For gaining the knowledge of anatma, the support of the sense organs backed up by the buddhi is required for gaining the knowledge of sense objects. But for gaining the knowledge of Atma, the sense organs are not required. The support of sense organs are not required. The sense organs are extrovert. So when it is not required, buddhi alone is required. Only the application of buddhi alone is required. Therefore, the pursuit is introvert. Therefore, the buddhi has to be a refined one. That is called sukshma. And also the subject matter is sukshma, not available like any other sense object of the world. Therefore, this antarmukata, the inwardness, the introvertedness, the difference between the antarmukata and bagirmukata. Bagirmukata is the quality of the sense organs. Antarmukata is the quality of a refined buddhi. And Bagirmukata is a pratibandha, great pratibandha for Atmajnana, great pratibandha for gaining the Sukshma Buddhi, Bagirmukata. This Bagirmukata have to be turned into Antarmukata. Only then a person will enjoy the Sukshma Buddhi. Only when Sukshma Buddhi is there, then Atmajnanam is possible. So, not enjoying this Sukshma Buddhi is a pratibandha. It's an obstacle for Atmajnanam and therefore moksha. Moksha is not possible. So, it all depends on the Sukshma Buddhi, what we enjoy. So, Sukshma in terms of thinking, an analyzing mind, a scrutinizing mind which is capable of analyzing, capable of thinking, looking at the subject matter very objectively. That is the Sukshma Buddhi. So for gaining that Sukshma Buddhi, the Upanishad in the previous Valli, it mentioned the importance and the means of gaining the Sukshma Buddhi. Now, if that Sukshma Buddhi is not there, the moksha is not possible. So that is the connection to the next chapter. So there is a Anvaya Vyatireka. If a person enjoys Sukshma Buddhi, then Atmajnanam is possible. If Sukshma Buddhi is not there, then Atmajnanam is not possible. Atma, the subject matter being Sukshmatvat, therefore need Sukshma Buddhi. So, therefore, Bhashyakara here he gives the connection that a person without Sukshma Buddhi cannot enjoy the benefit of Atmajnanam. So that is the connection. He quotes the mantra from the previous Valli and establishes a connection with the next chapter, the first Valli of the next chapter. Now we will read the Bhashyam. Yesha sarveshu bhuteshu Gudotmana prakashate Drishyate tvagraya buddhya iti uttam. It's not quoting the full mantra. Drishyate tvagraya buddhya iti uttam. Iti uktam Upanishada iti uktam. There, the first chapter, third section and 12th mantra, we saw Esha Sarveshu Bhuteshu Gurotmana Prakashate Drishyate Tugraya Buddhya Sukmaya Sukshma Darshibihi. So the mantra said, Sarveshu Bhuteshu Atma Gudaha. Atma is as though hidden. It is hidden in all the beings. Sarveshu Bhuteshu. Hidden means it is not inside the body of the beings. It is not located inside. There is no inside outside for Atma. It is hidden, as though hidden. It is not recognized as Atma, that is hidden. Therefore it is Gudaha. That is Gudaha. Paramatma, who is Antaryami in all the beings, is not recognized as Paramatma by the beings. Therefore it is hidden. But it is recognized. It is recognized only through the buddhi. What buddhi? The buddhi which is sukshma. The sukshma buddhya eva drishyate. Therefore, this Atma which is gudaha sarveshu bhuteshu sarveshu bhuteshu stitaha yeshaha Atma gudaha, therefore na prakashate. It is hidden as though in all the beings. Because people seldom look at the Atma. Because their minds are extrovert. The sense organs are extrovert. So therefore it is hidden for them. It remains a ragasyam, secret for them. Therefore Atma na prakashate. Atma na prakashate doesn't mean Atma doesn't shine. With Atma, the nature of Atma is prakashatvam. It is self-evident Atma. The nature of Atma is asti bhati priyam. Dasa. Dasanam is the nature, the swarupam of Atma. But na prakashate, for the beings, it is not recognized. They do not recognize. Therefore, Atma na prakashate. It is not that Atma doesn't shine. Atma means self-illumining, always. It is Saprakasha Chaitanya. Sun is there. Sun always is there. Closing the eyes, you don't see the sun. You cannot complain sun is not there. Sun is always is there. And sun doesn't require anything else for its illumination. It is self-shining. Sun minus self-shining is not a sun. Svaprakasha Chaitanya. Similarly, Atma is Svaprakasha Chaitanya. How can the sun, which illumines everything, it can be Gudaha? If it is Gudaha, it means the person has closed his eyes. He has to open. Similarly, Atmana Prakashate, when we say Prakasha Chaitanya Atmana Prakashate, it is not that Atma is not self-illuminating. It is Saprakasha. But it is not recognized as Atma. Therefore Gudaha na prakashate iti. And for that prakashanam to happen, what is required? The person has to recognize the self-evident Atma. Atma which is self-evident, the person has to see as it is. He has to see. The vision is required. Drishti has to change. The drishti from Bhagir Mukata to Antarmukata. That has to happen. Then only he can see. For that, the buddhi is required. Sukshma buddhi. So therefore, Tugraya buddhya. With a sharp, a focused, a refined buddhi. Buddhya eva drishyate. Atma. Tugraya buddhya eva drishyate. So this Svaprakasha Chaitanyam is recognized only when you enjoy the focused, the refined, the Sukshma Buddhi. So therefore, Atma not recognized when we say it is because of Ajnana. Recognized when we say it is because the person has, when the person enjoys the Sukshma Buddhi, therefore he recognizes the self-evident Atma. In the presence of self-evident Atma only everything happens. In the presence of in the presence of the light only all the actions are performed. You recognize the objects which the light illumines, but failing to recognize the light because you don't have that Sukshma Buddhi to understand that the light whose nature is illumination, in the presence of which only the vyavahara, the transaction happens with the external objects, without which it is not possible. That since that is not there, therefore na prakashate. Therefore, jyotihi na prakashate. Light doesn't shine. But light cannot say light doesn't shine. It's an oxymoron. A light doesn't shine. If it doesn't shine, it is not a light. Similarly, Atma, the nature of Atma is prakashatvam. Minus prakashatvam, Atma is, it's not Atma. So, na prakashate means not recognized. Even though it is, even though Paramatma is there in all the beings, since it is not recognized, therefore it is gudaha. And it is recognizable when you have the Sukshma Buddhi. Sukshma Buddhya eva drishyate iti. Continuing. So if Sukshma Buddhi is not there, if Sukshma Buddhi is not there, that is a pratibandha. So then what? Kaha punaha
कः
कः
पुनः
पुनः
pratibandha
प्रतिबन्धः
agraya buddhehe
जया
अग्रया
बुद्धेः
बुद्धेः
yena tat abhavat
येन
येन
तत्
तत्
अभावात्
अभावात्
atma na drishyate iti
आत्मा
आत्मा
न
न दृश्यते
दृश्यते
इति
इति
tat adarshana karana pradarshanartha
तत्
तत्
अदर्शन
अदर्शन
कारण प्रदर्शनार्थः
कारणप्रदर्शनार्था
Valli arabhyate.
वल्ली
वल्ली
आरभ्यते
आरभ्यते
So, Atma being self-evident, then what is the pratibandha? What is the obstacle for the non-recognition of it? Kaha pratibandha? Sukshma buddhi not there. That is the pratibandha. Not enjoying the sukshma buddhi, that is the pratibandha for the non-recognition of oneself. So, kaha punaha pratibandha? What is the pratibandha? What is the obstacle? What is the obstacle? What is the obstacle because of which the Atma is not recognized? Agraya buddhehe yena tat abhavat atma na drishyate iti tat adarshana karana pradarshanartha valli arabhyate. Atma is recognized only with Sukshma Buddhi. Sukshma Buddhi is not there, Atma is not recognized. So, the Pratibandha is the obstacle. What is the obstacle? What then is the obstacle? The Pratibandha is not enjoying the Sukshma Buddhi. So, for not enjoying the Sukshma Buddhi, what is the obstacle? For gaining the Sukshma Buddhi, the Agraya Buddhehe, Yena Tat Abhavat. What is the Abhavat means? absence of what? Absence of this buddhi. Absence of this buddhi. For gaining this buddhi, for gaining this buddhi, tat abhavat, in the absence of which atma na drishyate. Atma cannot be recognized. So what is the obstacle for gaining this sukshma buddhi? Kaha pratibandhaha agraya buddhehe. Tat abhavat atma na drishyate. Atma na prakashate, atma na drishyate, sukshma buddhyabhavat. When sukshma buddhi is not there, atma cannot be recognized as oneself. Then what is the pratibandha for having this sukshma buddhi? What is the pratibandha for enjoying this sukshma buddhi? Without which the atma is not recognized. Iti tat adarshana karana pradashanartha valli arabhyate. Valli arabhyate. This valli is started. This valli is started. Tat pradashanartha, to show. To show what? Adarshana karana. Tat adarshana karana. Adarshana is not seeing, not recognizing, not appreciating. Karana, to the reason. Tat adarshana karana darshanata, to show the cause, the reason for not recognizing. Tat refers to atma. Atmanaha adarshana karana. Not recognizing, non-recognition, the cause of the non-recognition of atma. To show that, this valli arabhyate, for showing the cause of non-recognition of atma, valli arabhyate, this valli is started. So therefore, what is the pratibandha? The pratibandha, what is a pratibandha for? What is the pratibandha for enjoying this sukshma buddhi? What is the obstacle for having this sukshma buddhi? The sukshma buddhi is bhagirmukata. Bhagirmukata is the obstacle. Bhagirmukata, it causes the absence of sukshma buddhi. Bhagirmukata causes the absence of sukshma buddhi. It prevents one from enjoying the sukshma buddhi. Only when sukshma buddhi is there, atma jnanam is possible, and therefore moksha. So absence of sukshma buddhi is absence of moksha. If buddhi is not sukshma, if buddhi is gross, then atma cannot be appreciated. Atma na drishyate. So the grossness, the sthulatvam of buddhi. What causes the sthulatvam of buddhi? This extrovertedness. That bhagirmukata causes the sthulatvam of the buddhi. If buddhi is sthula, then atmana prakashate. If buddhi is sukshma, atma drishyate eva. So bhagirmukata causes sthulatvam, antarmukata is sukshmatvam. And what prevents from this in sukshmatvam? Bhagirmukata. Bhagirmukata alone causes the problem. Bhagirmukata alone prevents a person from enjoying the sukshmatvam, sukshma buddhi. So therefore, tat adarshana karana pradashanartha valli arabhyate. So for the purpose of showing the reason of adarshanam, not recognizing the tat atma, for the non-recognition of atma, the reason, to show the reason, this valli is started. This valli is started. So for atma jnanam, For Atma Jnanam, one needs to enjoy Sukshma Buddhi. And what prevents the Sukshma Buddhi is Bhagirmukata. So that is a Pratibandha. That is the Pratibandha. So that is to show that this Vali is started. Continuing, the next line. Vijñate hi
विज्ञाते हि
ज्ञाते हि
Shreyah Pratibandhakarane
श्रेयः
श्रेयः
प्रतिबन्धकारणे
प्रतिबन्धकारणे
Tat Apanayanaya
तत्
अपनयनाय
अपनयनाय
Yatnaha Arabdum Shakyate
यत्नः आरब्धुं
आरब्धुं
शक्यते
शक्यते
Na Anyatha iti
न अन्यथा
अन्यथा
इति
इति
Shreyah Pratibandhakarane Vijñate hi Tat Apanayanaya Yatnaha Arabdum Shakyate Anyatha na. So, the Pratibandha Karanam, only when the Pratibandha Karanam is removed, only when the cause of the obstruction, the Pratibandha, Vijñate, only when it is known, only when the cause of the Pratibandha is known, then only we can remove the cause. Then only you can think of the solution. So, Pratibandha Karanam, Pratibandha obstruction, Karanam the reason. Reason for what? Shreyaha. Shreyaha Pratibandha Karane Vijñate. Only when the Pratibandha, the cause of Pratibandha to Shreyaha, Mokshaha, the cause for obstruction to freedom, only when it is understood, then only it can be removed. Only Apanayanam is possible with effort. So, what is the cause for obstruction to moksha? That has to be well understood. What is the cause? This Sukshma Buddhi, which the Upanishad said in the beginning itself, the Sukshma Buddhi, when it is not there, then moksha is not possible. Sukshma Buddhi is not there, knowledge is not possible. Knowledge is not possible, moksha is not possible. But what is the pratibandha for having the Sukshma Buddhi? So that has to be known. If that is not Sukshma Buddhi not there, moksha is not possible. Therefore, what is the cause for obstruction to moksha? That has to be known. That has to be known and that has to be removed. Then only moksha is possible. Therefore, the cause for obstruction to moksha, vijñate, only when it is well understood, when it is clearly understood, then only you can make an attempt to remove the obstacle. Only then you can make an attempt to remove the obstacle. Only when the cause is known. Otherwise, not possible. So, therefore, what need to be done is analyzing the cause. Analyzing the cause, diagnosing the problem is what required. If the problem is not understood properly, if it is not, the cause is not understood and treated, then moksha is not possible. Na anyata, otherwise not possible. So the cause of the problem need to be addressed. When the cause is addressed, the end is taken care. So Atmajnanam is the only means. Atmajnanam is the only means for moksha. And for Atmajnanam, the Sukshma Buddhi is required. And Sukshma Buddhi is not there because of an obstacle. And what is the cause of this obstacle? That has to be understood. And what is the cause? That is what the next mantra is going to say. The first mantra of this Upanishad. The cause is Bhagirmukata. That is the obstacle. That is the cause. So that has to be well understood. So that Yatnaha arabdum shakyate. So that you can start you can start the effort to remove it, to solve it. Yatnaha is effort. Prayatnaha arabdum shakyate. You can start the effort to remove it. Tat apanaganaya, for the removal of that, yatnaha arabdam shakyate. Kada pratibandha karane vijnate sati. When you know the cause of the pratibandha. Pratibandha for what? Pratibandha for moksha. Shreyaha. Shreyaha pratibandha karane vijnate sati. Tat apanayanaya. Tat refers to pratibandha. Pratibandha apanayanaya. Yatnaha arabdam shakyate. Anyata na. Nasti. Not possible. Otherwise not possible. So only when the obstacle which prevents from gaining this knowledge of Atma, only when that is understood, then only you can make an attempt to remove it. Otherwise not possible. Otherwise, Ajnana will continue. Samsara will continue. Therefore, so Pratibandha Karanam. What is that Pratibandha Karanam? That is what the mantra says, the following mantra, the first mantra of this section. You can read. It's an important mantra. Paranchikhani vitrnat swayam bhuhu.
Paranchikhani
Paranchikhani
Svayambhuh.
Tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman.
Tasmat
Tasmat
parang
parang
pashyati
pashyati
nantaratman.
nantaratman.
Kaschidhirah pratyagatmanamaikshat.
Kaschid
Kaschidhirah
dhirah pratyagatmanam
pratyagatmanam
aikshat.
aikshat.
Avritta chakshur-amritatvam-icchan.
Avritta chakshur amritatvam icchan.
Avritta chan.
Okay, we'll see the simple meaning of the mantra. So from this chapter onwards, what has been told in brief in the previous chapter, it's elaborated. Purvasmin adhyaye sankshepana bhuktasya atma tattvasya vistarane pratipadaitum adhyayaha arambaha. Katam paranchi iti. Paranchikani vitrnat swayambhuh. Jatranat, that is a Kriya Padam. You have to, in the mantra, you have to recognize the Kriya Padam. Jatranat. Jatranat means destroyed. Jatranat means destroyed. Himsitavan. Kaha himsitavan? Who destroyed? Karta must be there because destroyed. The Kriya is there, destroyed. Who destroyed? Swayambhu. Swayambhu destroyed. Who is Swayambhu? Swayambhavati. Swayambhavati iti Swayambhu. Swayambhu is Ishvara. The Lord destroyed. Ishvara destroyed. Swayambhu destroyed. Paranchikani. Kani refers to Indriyani. Kani means Indriyani, sense organs. Ka means the holes which are there on the body for the sense organs. Apertures of the sense organs. They are called ka. It means sense organs. Ka refers to sense organs. Kani means Indriyani. Kani means Indriyani. Shotradini Indriyani. Kani refers to the apertures of the shariram. Therefore, not talking about the wholes of the body. Tad upalakshita shotradini Indriyani. What is indicated by them? That is the Indriya, sense organs. because sense organs flows through the sense organs flow through the apertures of the shariram. Therefore, kani refers to indriyani. Shrotradini indriyani. Kani. And this kani, the sense organs are paranchi. Paranchi. Para means external. Anchi means anchudatu, going. Going. So paranchi means para anch. So going out. So Bhagavan destroyed the sense organs by making it going out, by making it extrovert. Swayambhuhu, that is Ishvaraha. Kani, that is upalakshitani indriyani, shrotradini indriyani, vetranat, destroyed. Imsitavan, katam, by making it paranchi, by making it external. So Bhagavan destroyed the sense organs by making them extrovert, by making them go out. It is only a figurative expression. Bhagavan cannot destroy. He cannot destroy you. If he wants to destroy you, then he need not have created you. So it is a figurative expression. It should not be taken literally. A person generally has his sense organs extrovert. So that is a figuratively expressed as Bhagavan Bhagavan destroyed the person by making the sense organs extrovert. It is just to show the nature. That is, the nature of sense organs is extrovertedness. Every jiva has this need not be a problem. This is not a problem. Every jiva has this nature of sense organs going outward, extrovert. It is there naturally in all the jivas. Maybe this may be a disadvantage in terms of the moksha. But for gaining the knowledge of the sense objects, for gaining the knowledge of this world, the sense organs has to be extrovert. Otherwise, not possible. If sense organs are not extrovert, then no scientific inventions or discoveries could be possible. And no interaction is possible. No vyavahara is possible. No relationship is possible. You cannot conduct yourself in the world if sense organs are not extrovert. If sense organs are not extrovert, then sense organs are itself not required. There is a purpose for giving the sense organs, and the 5 sense organs. Because 5 sense objects are there, therefore 5 sense organs. There is a reason for everything. There is an order. So how can the Bhagavan destroy the person? Bhagavan has given the sense organs for certain purpose, for gaining the knowledge of the external sense objects and also for vyavahara, conducting oneself in the world. Bhagavan has made the sense organ like that. But it is up to the individual whether to use it for one's construction or destruction. So here it is figuratively presented. Paranchi, extroverted, outgoing. Sense organs are outgoing. By making them outgoing, Bhagavan as though destroyed it. Our natural tendency is put the blame on Bhagavan for everything. So Upanishad also thinking from the jiva standpoint and putting the blame on the Bhagavan. So paranchi kani vitanat swayambhuhu. Swayambhuhu vitanat paranchi kani. Therefore, tasmat parang pashyati. Therefore, parang pashyati. Parak. We say parang means parak is outside. Parang pashyati. We say parak also. In Tamil we say don't move out looking parak. Parakpad. We say parakpad and pavada. Parak is outside. Parang pashyati. Tasmat parang pashyati. Parang is outside. Therefore, because the sense organs are extroverted, therefore it sees the external world. Parang pashyati. Tasmat parang pashyati. Kasmat, because sense organs are extrovert, therefore parang pashyati. Kaha Jivaha Manushyaha. Jivaha Manushyaha Parang Pashyati. Na Antaratman. Antaratman na Pashyati. Atma, which is Antaha. Antaha is also only a figurative. Atma is not sitting inside the body, not inside the Panchakosha. Panchakoshas are Atma, and Atma is recognized in the Buddhi, which is Buddhi as Buddhi is Upalabdhi Sthanam for Atma. Therefore, inside. There is no inside and outside for Atma. Everything being Atma. What is inside and outside? Inside, when we say that is Buddhi, the Buddhi is the Upalabdhi Sthanam. Buddhi can only recognize Atma. Skin cannot recognize, a finger cannot recognize, stomach cannot recognize Atma. Therefore, the Upalabdhi Sthanam, where the thinking is possible, in the Buddhi. Therefore, Buddhi which is Antaha, inside. The Shariram, it is Buddhi is there. So, therefore, Antaha Atma, Antaratman, na pashyati. Kaha na pashyati? Manushyaha, Jivaha na pashyati. Why? Because Paranchi, Kanis are external, Parang pashyati. Therefore, Antaha na pashyati. Therefore, doesn't see inside. Doesn't see the Atma. Inside means Atma, doesn't recognize the Atma. So, Antaratma na pashyati. Amritatvam ichan avrita chakshuhu. Amritatvam ichan avrita chakshuhu. Kaschid dhiraha pratyakatmanam aikshat. Pratyakatmanam aikshat. Aikshat is lang lakara, past tense. Aikshat is the past tense, lang lakara. But we can take it as pashyati. Not only in the past, it is present also. Aikshat is equal to pashyati. Kaha pashyati? Dhiraha pashyati. Viveki pashyati. Kaschid dhiraha. Some viveki. Only few people. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhage. Among the thousands of people, only one person attempt to gain this knowledge of Atma and be free. So, therefore, some a rare, very rare Purusha, Dhiraha is Viveki, Saha Aikshat, Saha Pashyati. What Pashyati? Pratyekatmanam. This Atma, Pratyak Atmanam, which is Sukshma, which is Pratyaka, which is as though inside, Pashyati. He recognizes the Atma. He recognizes the self-evident Atma. Kaschid Dhiraha. How? Because he has the Avrita Chakshu. He has the Chakshu. Chakshu means eyes. But here it's not literally the eyes. Avrita Chakshu means he has withdrawn his eyes. He has withdrawn his attention. He has withdrawn his focus. He has withdrawn his attention. Avritaha Chakshu. Yena Saha Purushaha Dhiraha. So Avrita Chakshu qualifies the Dhiraha. Kaschid Dhiraha. So Avrita Chakshu means the turned away, withdrawn. The Chakshu refers to the eyes. Eyes is only one sense organ. That is Upalakshana for all the sense organs. Chakshu meaning eye stands for the seeing, and it stands for all the other sense organs. So, eye is withdrawn from the object of perception. It means all the sense organs are withdrawn from the perception of sense objects. It is withdrawn. He has got Uparama ityartaha. So, Avrita Chakshu, the one who enjoys his Avrita Chakshu, whose sense organs are withdrawn from the sense objects, that person, Kim Ichan, he desires, desiring. Ichan, that also qualifies this Dhiraha only. Avrtachakshuhu Ichan Amrtatvam. Kim Ichan? Amrtatvam Ichan. Amrtatvam Moksha. Amrtatvam is Moksha. Amrtatvam Ichan. Having the desire. Amrtatvam Ichan. Desiring Amrtatvam Moksha. Avrtachakshuhu San. Kaschid Dhiraha Pratyahatmanam Aikshate. Some very rare Purusha, Dhira Purusha, who is a Viveki, Nityanitya Vastu Viveki, who has withdrawn the sense organs from the sense objects, he sees, he recognizes himself to be the Atma, himself to be that Brahma. Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. So this person recognizes himself to be Brahma. This is the simple meaning of this mantra. So, when you do the Anvaya will be like this. Swayambhuhu Paranchikani Vitranat. That is one sentence. Therefore, Tasmat Manusyaha or Jivaha Parang Pashyati. Antaratma na Pashyati. Amrtatvam Ichan Avrta Chakshuhu Kaschid Dhiraha Pratyekatmanam Aikshat. Pratyekatmanam Aikshat Pashyati. Okay. So, therefore, the mantra says the sense organs have to be made introvert. They have to be made introvert. It has to be channelized to it should be channelized towards oneself. But the nature of the sense organs is external. And Bhagavan as though destroyed it by creating it external. That is only a figurative expression. So therefore, the sense organs which are made extroverted naturally has to be turned inside for the recognition of Atma, for the recognition of oneself to be Atma. Who can do that? Kaschid Dhiraha, Kaschid Viveki Purushaha, Taihi Tena Kartum Shakyate. So one has to be a Viveki, Nityanistya Vastu Viveki, Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannaha. One should enjoy this Sukshma Buddhi, to enjoy this vision and be free. Now we will read the Bhashyam. Paranchi
Paranchi
Parak Anchati Gachanti Parak Anchanti Gachanti Iti
Paranchi Gachanti
Kani Tadupalakshitani
Ani Tadupalakshitani
Shrotradini Indriyani
Shrodradini Indriyani
Kani iti uchyante.
Ani iti uchyante.
Okay. Paranchi. Paranchi is Parak Anchanti. Anchanti is Gatyartaka, meaning going out. Gachanti. Anchanti, Gachanti. So going out. Extrovert. Parak is extrovert. Anchanti is going, therefore going out. Anchanti is equal to Gachanti. Anchadatu. So Paranchi is Parak Anchanti Gachanti iti. Kani. Kani is Kani. Okay, Kani is question. Alpa prana. Kani, Kani. Indriyani. Tat upalakshitani shrotradini indriyani kani iti uchyante. So, as I said, this the literal meaning of the word ka means akasha, space. Therefore, the space in the body means it is a hole, aperture, cavity in the body. The golaka. The Golakas are the receptacles of sense organs. They are sense organs are located in the Golaka, the cavities of the body. That is why sense organs are also called Kha. So sense organs are called Kha. And Bhagavachanam Khani, Indriyani. So the apertures of the body which are holding the sense organs. For example, eye is there, it is a hole, nose, hole. So where these sense organs are located, the sense organs, the which are located in the whole of the shariram. The whole is nothing but a golaka. It's a golaka. And what is located in that is sense organs. So Kani refers to the sense organs, Indriyani, not the golaka. So here, Kani, when we say, Kani refers to Tad Upalakshitani Indriyani, referring to Kani means openings, the cavities, but not the cavities are meant here. What is indicated by them is Shotradini Indriyani, the sense organs, ears, etc. Those sense organs, Kani iti uchyante. The sense organs like ears, etc., they are called Kani because they are indicated by the apertures of the body. So therefore, Kani, the immediate meaning of Kani is openings, cavities. But by the implication, the meaning of the word Kani is sense organs. So sense organs, Kani iti uchyante. Continuing the next line. Tani Parancheva Shabdadi Vishaya Prakashanaya Pravartante. Pravartante. Tani Kani Pravartante. Those sense organs Pravartante, they engage. Engage in what? Paranchi eva. They are paranchi eva. They are outgoing. Paranchi eva. Tani paranchi eva pravartante. Shabdadi vishaya prakashanaya. For prakashanaya. Shabdadi vishaya prakashanaya. For revealing the vishaya. Vishaya is objects. For revealing the objects. For revealing the objects like Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. These are the 5 sense objects available. So for revealing that, Pravartante, they engage, they proceed. So Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, 5 sense objects. The 5 sense objects for Prakashanaya, for revealing that the sense organs, they go outside, they engage. Since they are outside, therefore the sense organs also goes towards that. So therefore paranchi, parak gachanti, anchanti. Then the next line. Yasmat evam Swabhavikani tani Yatranat insitavan Hananam kritavan ityartha. Therefore only Yasmat. Why Yasmat? Because of the reason mentioned above. What is the reason? Because they are extrovert, they are going outside, outward going. That is the nature of the Indriyas, the Kani, Yasmat. Therefore, Evam Swabhavikani, since they are of this Swabhava, the nature, Tani here refers to Kani, which is Vidya Bhakti Bhagavachanam. It is a karma for the Ishvara, Swayambhuhu. Therefore, Tani Vitranat. Kaha Vitranat? Swayambhuhu Vitranat. Tani refers to Indriyani, that is Kani, Vitranat, Ishvaraha, Swayambhuhu, Vitranat. Vitranat is Imsitavan, destroyed. Hananam Kritavan. Vitranat is equal to Imsitavan, which is equal to Hananam Kritavan. Imsitavan, Tavatu Pratyaya. Swayambhu has destroyed. He has destroyed the sense organs which are outward going. Anan Kritavan. This is only a figurative expression. So Ishvara as though destroyed the jiva by making it outward going. Now, so far the karta, the karta of destruction is not mentioned. That Bhashyakara says the next line. Kaha asau
Kaha
Kaha
asau
swayambhuh
Swayambhuh
Parameshwaraha
Parameshwaraha
Vayam eva swatantraha bhavati sarvada
Swayameva
Yeva
swatantraha bhavati
Bhavati
sarvada
Sarvada
na paratantra iti.
na
Na
paratantra
Paratantra
iti.
iti.
This line we will see. We will see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanta Shanta Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद जी.
धन्यवाद
धन्यवाद जी.
धन्यवाद जी.
Thank you.
Dhanyawad.